Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. It's a beautiful first week of July in 2021. And I'm out here and dressed up. It's been raining and really cold for the last few days. Just wiped out 4th of July weekend just totally for so many of the businesses. And it was like 50 degrees or 55 degrees last night, and the windows closed and all that stuff. And it's chilly in the house, and so I put my sweatshirt on because it was damp from all the rain and cold. And now it's like 85 degrees, and it's really a dead hot, humid thing. It's a little humid in the house, so where it had been cool before. But I thought I would come out because I wanted to talk about process-oriented trading, which is a topic that I discuss as the premise of a course that I'm writing on trading. And it's not for beginners. I don't teach beginners. I mean, by a beginner, I mean you don't even have a trading platform. You have no idea. You're just thinking about taking a FOREX course. Just learn all the shit that you want to learn as far as the mechanics and the plumbing on your own. Figure out how to work a trading platform. Maybe take a real account, lose all your money. And once you figure out that it's a little more complicated than just all the squiggly lines that people are talking about, that you can become a millionaire on a $10,000 bank, then you can watch my videos and get stuff out of them. And but that's the person that my course and my mentoring and all that stuff is geared for. It's not really geared for the rote beginner. And if you are a rote beginner and you want to get off on the right track, I'm not going to teach you and charge you money for what the value of a pip is or how you draw trend lines or, don't average down and just simple stuff like that. What I do in my course is I give a couple of references, and as long as it takes you to read 50 pages, you've learned all the mechanics and the plumbing that you need. You practice that for a little while, and then you pick my course book up, and then you continue on from there. Or if you're mentoring, I'm going to have you do the same thing before you would come and pay me any money to actually sit down in front of you and work with you. Because what I teach is the process of trading. What to do, you can learn in 50 pages of reading, as I said. How to do it is a little bit more complicated, but it still isn't all that tough. I mean, I think the value that you have from someone like me who knows how to teach. I mean, I've been in the martial arts for 50 years. I've taught hundreds and hundreds of students. I've got students that have been with me 20, 30, 40 years and more. So I know how to teach stuff. I know how to break it down. People have saved their lives because of the stuff that I've taught them. I've saved my own life. So, you don't teach shit in karate and self-defense and be successful at it. You have to teach so that it's meaningful and has an impact on somebody. So I know how to do all that. And unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of patience for showing someone just the beginning mechanic steps, when I could be working with someone that already knows that stuff, and they're looking to say, well, how do I put these pieces together? Okay? And the way that I teach that, and I think if you go back through the videos that I've done or read the blog posts that I've done, I think you get that from my work. It's a process, not just a set of rules. Richard Dennis, the creator of the Turtle program, the Turtles made Richard Dennis $175 million in the 5 years that they were in that program. And he gave them 2 weeks of instruction in the beginning. That was the beginner stuff, the mechanics and the plumbing. Then he gave them all a lot of money to start. Maybe it was a couple $100,000. I don't really know how much it was, but after a month, the ones that were doing well and following good risk management rules were given anywhere from $200,000 to $500,000. One particular fellow, Curtis Faith, who he had given $2 million to, ultimately went on and made Dennis something like $30 million. So Dennis taught his rules in the first couple of weeks of that training program, and even he said, the rules, he said I could publish these rules and show them, but nobody's going to listen to them anyway. And so it isn't about the rules, it's about the process. All right, I couldn't take it. It was so hot and humid, I had to come in. It's much cooler in the house than it is out there. I took my fleece jacket off and got a cup of coffee, and it's so I'm in good shape here. So the key, I feel, to any educational process, not just trading, but I've spent my life as an educator, and I think what you need is a process. You need a process, not just a set of rules, because, well, I mean, look at the YouTube videos that are out there. Go watch some of those videos. We got an engulfing pattern, or we got a pin bar pattern, or we got a 3-candle blah 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 blah, or a bat fucking pattern, or whatever stupid shit it is that's out there. You know my feelings on all that stuff. It's just it's as stated, it's not correct. It's a rule. When you have an engulfing pattern candle and you count back blah 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 blah, and this happens, it's a take. That's a rule. So you either write that rule down and be very, very clear about it. I mean, watch Al Brooks and any of his videos, or I mean, if you look for really sleep-inducing stuff, you might look at his books. I mean, I've got his books. I watch his videos because he's really good. He knows what he's doing. But it's really difficult to extrapolate how you would do the same thing that he's talking about doing, because he looks at each particular position. Oh, this is an engulfing pattern candle because blah 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 blah, and if this, because you see this happening, then that's a take for a long. Or but if it was Tuesday and this was happening, even though you've got the same engulfing pattern, you'd go short. So it isn't a rule. It's a process. And when you're a trader, I understand how difficult it is to express trading to somebody who doesn't have that background. You feel, as an educator, a bad one, you feel like you have to lay out every single fucking step for somebody. Well, what are they? Are you stupid? You have to have this rigid set of rules. You follow this. You know what really pisses me off is these guys on YouTube. Oh, follow my system, and it hasn't had a losing trade in 72 weeks, and we've got a 78% win rate. Just follow these 3 simple things. Yeah, really? Well, if you had those 3 simple things and your account was a couple of $1 million, why wouldn't you be off on your fucking boat instead of selling courses and recording YouTube videos? I mean, the mentality of these folks that are out there is appalling for somebody like myself, who's 72 years old, who worked very hard as a real estate investor for 40 years and a senior software engineer for 33 years, was able to retire a millionaire because of a real estate investing career, to see these assholes out there who have no fucking clue at all as to what they're doing, and they're just stumbling around on a minefield, successfully getting through, and then calling to everybody, oh, look how smart I am, I just came through this minefield, I'll show you how to get through. No, you can't show anybody how to get through, because you don't know how to do that. Because you're not doing it in a process-oriented manner, you're simply setting up a set of rules. So, the rules aren't going to be enough. And in the course that I set up, these initial discussions in the course, and when I sit down with somebody and I talk to them about mentoring, is we're not going to do this like everybody else. If you want to do it like everybody else, which is you don't have to work, you just have to read the shit, and here's some rules, and here's some exercises for you to do, and see how simple it is, and you're all set, thank you for your $2,000 or $3,000. It isn't going to go down that way, because it's not that simple. And if you're not capable of teaching, don't fucking teach. and I don't know many of them who are. I teach because I can, not because I have to. I'm retired. I don't want to be having 400 emails a day I have to reply to, and I'm not going to reply to emails that are just looking for handouts. Geez, I get comments sometimes on my YouTube videos. Oh, can you help me out? Can you answer these questions? And blah, blah, blah. And I try to answer them quickly in a comment. But if it would take more emphasis or more of my time, send me an email. And so I have your email address. Ask your question again so I remember, and remind me that I said that if you sent me an email, I'd respond to it. And then I sit down and I spend some fucking time to write a reply that will be meaningful for that person. Most of the time, I'm going to ask you, if you email me, I want to know where you live, I want to know how old you are, so I can get kind of a grasp of who you are as a person. Because one thing that I would tell somebody who's 50 years old is not the same thing that I'd tell somebody who is 24 years old, right? And so I get these emails, people will get that, I'll reply back in the comment, send me an email, and I'll get these guys, most of them don't send me an email. They don't want to take the time. What, you want me to teach you on it in a comment in a YouTube video? Really? If that's where your brain set's at, go take up fucking badminton, don't waste my time. And then I've got some people that do actually take the time to send an email, and I will respond back. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself so that I can craft these answers better for you. You know the percentage that actually write back to me to give me more information is like small. But I do respond they took the time to send me the email, so I'm going to do the shortened version of the thing and I'll send it back to them. But if you can't take the time to want to communicate with me, I can't take the time to write a long email out, because that's not how you learn how to trade. Here's a question, here's the answer. Oh, okay, now I'm happy. I can go back and be a successful trader. No. The reason that you have a question is you're having trouble putting these things together. And so when I craft my responses, I'd like to have, even if you don't want to be a student of mine or buy a course or whatever, I'd like to have an email relationship with you so I can get to know you and work with you under the process of a process-oriented learning methodology. So I can try to help you a little bit. I'm not going to give the jewels away or spend hours and hours with you. I get $350 an hour for consulting. Well, come on. You get what you pay for. Go to your attorney and ask him to sit there and tell you how to write your will. How good's that going to be? The attorney's only going to cost you money. I'm going to try to teach you how to make money. And you want me to help you in 40 words or less? I don't think so. You're not thinking of it the right way, because maybe the whole educational process you've been through isn't really a process. It's just going from grade 1 to grade 2. When my son was coming up through the school system, he had a reading disability and short-term attention. I've got short-term attention, and he just was being horribly treated in his school. And well, what steps are you going to take in order to get him from here to here? Well, these are the steps. Oh, he's got to do this book, and he's got to do this exercise, he's got to do that. But this is where he's at, and he's stumped here. How are you going to get him from there to there? Well, we're not really geared for that. Okay, we're out of here. And we took him to another school. And we sat down with the principal of the school. We sat down with the teacher. We sat down with a resource agent. We said, this is what our son is going through. What are you going to be able to do for him? And they went, we're going to teach him process. We're going to work with him and work on his strengths to show him how to take his strengths and apply those to the stuff that we're trying to teach him. We're trying to force our stuff on him to change his strengths. Right? And so that's the thrust of teaching in a process-oriented manner, so that the student can learn how to develop process-oriented analysis in their own trading. You can't be a stupid ass drinking a six-pack a day and wandering the streets at 2 o'clock in the morning looking for trouble and be a successful trader. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. I mean, I can't help you. If you're serious about this stuff, watch the videos where folks are serious. Find a mentor or get a course that's process-oriented so that will help you walk through these steps, or at least bring that out. If they're trying to sell you something that's going to teach you what trend lines are and what times the market is open and how to craft a trading plan and all that stuff, I mean, it's just asinine that you would be asked to pay money for that kind of crap. Please understand, if the only thing you get out of this video is that rules alone are not going to help you in your trading, and it isn't because you're stupid, it's because you simply don't know how to apply those rules. You need somebody or some reference book to say, okay, here's a set of rules. Here's how you think about those rules at the time. Well, in trading, you know, you have your trade entry and trade management. And trade management is broken into 2 or 3 different phases or stages, and you have your pre-entry analysis that you do. I mean, there's a series of phases that you go through when you're looking at taking a trade and when you're having a trade. And so you need to look, is somebody just giving you some rules or based on some stupid freaking indicator or some secret frickin' shit that they've got? Or, which is easy for you to learn, right? Because any dumbass can memorize 4 or 5 rules, but they're not going to do you any good. Sit down and look at how you've learned how to do anything other than your job. If you were looking to I don't know, work on your car or something, what are the steps that you'd want somebody to take you through to help you fix your car? Do you want somebody standing there going, okay, now you know, we've got a broken piston ring, and so unscrew the heads and we'll get inside the engine and we'll take a look at those rings. Heads, what the fuck's a head? That's the head. Take it off. So you unscrew all of one side and the fucking head bends and you're screwed. You need somebody to give you a process. Look, you're going to unscrew this head. Because it's locked down and it's been hot and it's been cold, if you just unscrew one side, it's going to warp. The potential is there for it to warp. So unscrew a little bit here and unscrew a little bit there and unscrew a little bit here. Isn't that what you learned to do when you were going to take a tire off a car and replace the tire? Weren't you taught to incrementally go around and loosen the lug nuts across from each other so that the tire would come off correctly? If you weren't taught that, then you didn't learn. You don't know how to take a tire off. What about just jumping your car jumping your battery from another car and hooking up the cable? You hook up the hot and the cold cable at the wrong time. You're gonna blow your fucking, you're gonna blow your ass up. You know. Everything in life, look at everything in life, it's all based on process. Why wouldn't you think that you needed to do that same thing in your trading? Because some dumbass on the video is screaming at you, all you need is his secret system, and you know, for $49.95 or this $500 course, or you know, whatever, you can do this yourself. No, you can't do it yourself. You spend your money, try it, and when it doesn't work, listen to what I'm telling you. And go find somebody that will do that. I mean, don't call me. I'm not in the trading education business. You know, I have a course and I've got mentoring, but I don't have time to waste with tire kickers. Okay? So if you're really, really serious about this and you're willing to spend the money necessary in order to get the proper education, find somebody that's got the capability to teach you. Find somebody that you're compatible with. That's why I ask the questions when somebody sends me an email. Who are you? You know, if I'm talking to a dead cat, I'm not gonna respond email with that stuff. I'm not going to waste my time. You get what you pay for. And you're responded to in the manner in which you're addressing your concerns. So think in terms, as you're doing your own study and your own investigation of these terrifically exciting markets that can be so profitable if you do them right, consider process over rule-based systems. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day. Have a great trading day.